Oregon State's homestand continues in Corvallis, Oregon tonight. The Beavers, the team to beat in the WCC, hosting the University of San Diego. It's alumni weekend, and Gill Coliseum promises to bring some noise. Quick look at the WCC standings going into tonight's play. Oregon State all alone at 7-1. Santa Clara, Gonzaga right behind. USF, LMU in the hunt as well. Good evening, everybody. Ann Schatz's joined by my broadcast partner, my good friend, that's Tammy Blackburn. All right, buddy, halfway point in WCC play. Everybody picked Oregon State to win this conference. They have not disappointed.
That's right. They're a half game ahead of Santa Clara and a whole game ahead of Gonzaga University. And let me tell you, that game the other night here went into overtime against Gonzaga, and it was electric. But we are almost into February, and you want to be playing some of your best ball. This is an Oregon State team that's playing with some great chemistry and also playing great basketball.
Kennedy Schuler, an elite playmaker. Annie Myers-Drysdale, National Player of the Week, thanks to what she did against Gonzaga last weekend.
She almost had a triple-double. We got to go back into the film and just give her an assist. Can we? Because she had 17 points, 10 steals, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Now, she's a guard. A lot of people would expect sometimes that, well, she's going to pull up for the 3, but really her best game is in the key under the rim. She gets to the rim. She does it consistently from half to half. Her first half percentages and her second half shooting percentages are consistent.
How about Kylie Ray finding a home at San Diego after transferring in from Utah?
You got to slow her down. That is the scouting report for every team that plays her. Here's the trouble with what teams have had to handle with Kylie Ray. She's explosive in the first half. In the second half, she's better. But in the fourth quarter, that is where her percentages in terms of shooting go up. She gets into her settling into her zone, makes some great shots. They're going to need her tonight.
Blanche Alverson in her first year as head coach at San Diego, just a great hire for the Toreros, replacing Cindy Fisher, the legend, but 8 years at Georgia Tech, last 6 as associate head coach under Nell Fortner. Boy, I'm telling you, she is going to be one to keep your eye on. And Scotty Rueck, you cannot say enough about this guy in his 16th year. Boy, over 330 wins, winningest in Oregon State history, 5-time Pac-12 head coach of the year, and all those 20-win seasons and that 2016 Final Four, and that team will be celebrated on Saturday. And we are underway. San Diego winning the tip, coming in at 8-14, 2-7 in conference play, but just having defeated LMU, the one team that has defeated Oregon State, Tammy.
That's right.
Another great crowd here at Gill Coliseum. Coming off the pick, Rhodes pulls up, not there. Good position down low by Williamson. She was fouled.
And San Diego's going to look to come off the screens hard to create their shot. That is what this San Diego team has been learning how to do, is just play together with Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray's going to take a lot of shots, but if they've got that shot right off the screen, they'll be okay.
All right, you mentioned this in the open. When Schuler gets downhill, single coverage, you better come over and help, because it's a layup.
That's right. I mean, you can sag off her as much as you want. She's still going to find a way. She's very clever, very crafty with the ball, and she'll explode. She knows exactly how to find space that she needs to be able to finish.
Oregon State coming in at 15-6, 7-1 in conference play. Best in the business, pulling up. Not there for Ray. It was a good look, and here comes Schuler. Doesn't have the numbers, but she'll find Schimmel. Steps into the 3, rimming out. That's a good look for Schimmel. She'll take that every time.
It's a great pass by Schuler, too. Eyes up, that is what she does. She's looking to pass that ball off.
Early 2-0, Oregon State lead. Wide open, Ruse tees it up. No one really closed, but she misses, and here's Bolden.
They went under the screen.
Williamson yells at Bolden, use the screen, and Bolden said, nah, let her go under, and I'll just hit the 3.
Williamson screened 2 people, 2 players on that play. Go back and look at the replay. There were 2, and Bolden said, hey, I'm pulling up.
Blocked by Schuler. Okay, I'm going to go back to that stat line Well, all right, first we'll look at Bolden, then we're going to go back to Schuler's stat line one more time.
Watch the screen here. Watch Williamson. She's going to get in. There's the two people that she's screening for. And there you go. There's a shot.
So it's a 5-0 Oregon State lead. Always a good sign when Bolden hits that first three. Switching hands. Basket didn't want it. Offensive putback not there. We know that San Diego will hit the offensive boards. Just wasn't there for the follow by Roos. All right. Your series history looking like this. These teams haven't met a whole lot. Should mention that it was an Oregon State sweep over San Diego in Oregon State's first year in the WCC last season. This is their second and final year as an affiliate member.
There is Blanche Alverson, who you mentioned, coached with the great legendary Nell Fortner. She also played for Nell Fortner. Blanche playing at Auburn.
Alverson could ball.
Oh, she could, yeah. Her numbers.
Goodness.
Absolutely.
1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 100 assists, and Schuler at the cup again. If you're San Diego, you need a bucket and you need to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 7-0 score right now. You haven't been able to score in 3 minutes. You got to get on the board. Sometimes you got to just get that layup and work for that high percentage easy shot, but Oregon State will make that tough. And there it is by Haley Rhodes.
And you need Rhodes to get going. She's having a career year with this club. Her second year with the Toreros gives you almost 11 a game. Schuler, unselfish. Bolden, again, 2 for 2 from deep.
Pass up a good shot for a great shot. Bolden was just hot from that spot in the three-point lane. You know that her teammates realized, hey, she just made that shot. She's hot. I'm in rhythm. I'm going to give it to her, and she's going to go for it. And here it is. Look at the pass. Schuler outside to Villa, who finds her, and she gets her.
Alumni weekend here at Gill Coliseum, packed house. Fan favorites waving to the crowd, and what a great turnout of some of the best to ever play for Oregon State, Tammy.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to see them here. This crowd and this community absolutely pours love into these players that put on a show for them, play great basketball over the years, and isn't it so neat to see their daughters and their sons now that they're just, they've moved on from basketball and they've created new lives. So wonderful.
And they're back here in reunion fashion, though. We just showed you Bolden's number. She started off 2 for 2 from beyond the arc against Gonzaga as well last weekend. It was a huge start for her because Bolden's been a little chilly from beyond the arc. One and done. Williamson doing her thing. Boy, has she been good as a starter for Oregon State for the last 8-9.
Good defensive rebounding and really quick out to Schuler with a quick outlet pass. And Schuler already pushing the ball up the floor, looking inside the paint for some points.
Good transition defense, Oregon State. There's Schuler doing her thing, jump ball, possession arrow favoring Oregon State.
And if you don't think that pressure with a quick defensive rebound by Oregon State and a push up the floor with Schuler doesn't put pressure on San Diego, it does. They're out of position. If their backs are turned, they've got to really hustle. Whether they make it or miss it, they've got to get back. You can't celebrate. This is an Oregon State team with Schuler. She'll push.
Well, so you don't have to ask her twice. Kennedy will sit now, and Field will check in for Oregon State. Freshman getting some quality minutes for Scotty Ruick. Williamson thought she might hand it back off to Schimmel. Off the pick, Bolden lets the defender fly by. Schimmel hesitates, mid-range, not there. Follows her own miss. (10-2) Oregon State lead. Good defense inside. Losing the handle is Bolden. Nice job by Moore. But boy, you got to do something with it, Tammy.
That's a good shot. Good shot by Rhodes. She had the space. There was a screen. She got the screen. She went to the open space. Jumper, easy jumper for Rhodes.
So Rhodes, the transfer from Morehead State, has all 4 points for San Diego. There's Villa dumping it inside. Catch, shoot, score.
Well, that just a high-low pass where Williamson putting her right hand up, lead me to the basket, but you got to keep your eyes up to see that. And I tell you, this is an Oregon State team that thinks about making a good pass.
Owens, who had checked in, lets her fly, not there. Pretty good job in the one and done department on the defensive boards for Oregon State. Bolden almost lost the handle, but was fouled in the process. So picking up that foul is Owens, her first, team's second. So we'll check in for Oregon State. Williams in for the Toreros, along with Jaden Rhodes. So both clubs going to their benches, Tammy. (12-4) Oregon State, 4:30 left to go in this first quarter. Good defense inside by Amore. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Villa has been the facilitator at this point. Another great pass, dumps it, so blocked. How about that by Williams? Great job by Bolden to just stay with the play and make the cut.
That block was great by Williams of San Diego. She was on it. They made the pass to So, and she was all over it, but it was the follow-up. Bolden, who's got that awareness, just makes a dive move to the basket and gets the ball.
Field thought she got all ball. We'll see if that foul is on Field.
Let's go back to the block by Williams. And then the ball is a little bit loose, but how about the wherewithal by So to grab it? I like the move by Bolden to make the cut to the basket.
Yep.
That's the key, right? Are you playing well and moving well to the right space without the ball?
So, by the way, picking up that foul, her first, team's first, as Ayla Williams, the freshman, this young San Diego club. And Alverson has found some quality play in her youth, but still young pups.
And she had a great mentor in Nell Fortner. She is continuing to build this program after this first year. She wants it to be a process-driven culture. She wants to do things and compete the right way. She knows how to do that after playing for Nell Fortner, coaching with Nell Fortner.
Bolden already with 8 points, picks up the dribble, 10 on the shot clock for Villa. There's the drive, the dump inside, but the quick hands by Williams will go the other way. This Oregon State team, Tammy, not the same without Schuler on the floor. Off the pick, bringing down rain, and scoring is Owens.
When you don't have Schuler on the floor, it's like your quarterback's taking a few plays off, right? And so that's the facilitator right there in Schuler. Bolden's doing a great job of trying to hold this Oregon State team and continuing to facilitate.
So, the transfer from Utah. Schimmel wide open mid-range and hits.
Nice curl. The curl off the screen doesn't have to be hard or fast, but you just got to slow her defender down, and that's exactly what her teammates are doing.
You can't just always assume Schimmel's going to dial it up from three. If you give her some space, Tammy, she'll put the ball on the deck and hit the mid-range. Boy, Owens coming off the bench making some statements.
Well, they need her on this floor to be able to play defense. She leads the Toreros with 39 steals. They also need her to score. It's a team that's trying to find points without Ray always having to score them for them.
Tammy, if I'm not mistaken, Ray not even on the floor right now.
Yeah, she's not on the floor and she's not on the bench.
Remember, she kind of tweaked that ankle earlier this week. Did start, but we haven't seen much of her. Good defense by Bolden into the hands of Field. San Diego doing a good job of staying in this thing after trailing by a bunch early. Ball up for grabs somehow, some way into the hands of the Toreros. And Schuler, is going to be checking back in soon. Catch, shoot, boom! Jaden Rhodes, big triple. It's a one-possession game.
Blanche Alverson loves the hustle, loves the effort, and loves the compete that her team is bringing right now. You take advantage of Schuler being on the bench.
San Diego not known for its three-point shooting, but keeping the Toreros in the game from deep. Villa finally putting it up, not there. And San Diego getting well, scoring off of Oregon State turnovers. Amore, back rim and off. Oregon State already with the 4 cough-ups, and San Diego scoring 7 points off the TOs. Under a minute to go. Looked like Oregon State wanted to shoo San Diego right out of the gym, and the Toreros not so fast. Bolden dumps it inside, so she'll go to the line. She got hacked. Owens got her, that's number 2.
And here's where you can see they pick up the foul. Now, there's help side there, so you got to help the helper, and they're out of position. And that's why you pick up the foul, and so is such a big presence at 6'8", the center.
So Ajayi checks in as Owens picks up her second. Here's So finally healthy. She and the other big for Oregon State, Williamson, dealing with injuries so much of their career. So 34% free throw shooter, looked pretty good there.
So started some games. Williamson started some games. And really the question for Scott Rueck was who was playing well coming off the bench, who was playing well as a starter. So plays well coming off the bench, and so Williamson gets to start. I thought Williamson played really good minutes here in this first quarter.
Yeah, she's been starting lately, and I think she's entrenched in that starting lineup with So coming off the bench. 17-13. Hesitating, pulling up, and scoring is Haley Rhodes. 6 now for the veteran.
Blanche Alverson wants her team to believe that they can win. And so far in the first quarter, they've got that.
They play so hard to the Toreros, and that effort keeping them in it. So Schuler back on the floor. Shot clock off, game clock at 10 right here. Schuler, defender in the air, she'll go to the line. That's what she does.
I mean, you got 5.7 ticks left on the first quarter clock here, and Schuler goes in and draws a foul. You try to keep her in front of you. She finds a way. She has an answer. She doesn't pick up her dribble, and that's a big part of it, Ann. When you pick up your dribble and you're dead, you're like, oh, I found myself in a precarious situation. But she doesn't pick up her dribble. She looks for the perfect opportunity.
Schuler leads the U.S. in games with 5 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. She has 8 games with 10, 5, and 5, and 16 games with 5 or more assists. Unbelievable stat lines. At the buzzer, too late. So it looked like Oregon State might run away with this. San Diego coming back. We got ourselves a game heading in to the second quarter. WCC News and Notes. Again, Schuler picking up that Annie Drysdale National Player of the Week award, WCC as well. What Whitaker did last weekend against Oregon State was mighty special. And, of course, Lisa Fortier, once again named to the midseason Kathy Delaney-Smith Mid-Major Coach of the Year watch list.
Talking with Blanche Alverson earlier today about Whitaker at Gonzaga University, and I tell you, she said, we were so happy we were able to shut Whitaker down. But, then there's players like Allie Turner, right, who can go off and have really good games. Second leading scorer for Gonzaga, and it's just really what a team that's loaded. But how about that overtime win right here? You were there calling it, Oregon State over Gonzaga. That was such an important win when you think about the standings.
It was really special, and when those two teams meet again at the Kennel, it's going to be really something else. Early February, second quarter underway, and coming up limping on the shot is Haley Rhodes. She's got 9, but limping a bit. And we are tied, Tammy Blackburn. My goodness, it was a 10-point Oregon State lead with 4 minutes to go in the first. And look at this. So Fields starting. Lindemann's starting for Oregon State. Dumping it inside. And also starting Alonso, and scores.
Really nice pass. The drive, and then Alonso, the quick step up into the space, calling for the ball. Good pass. I like the way Oregon State is moving the ball with the pass. Showing his zone right here against San Diego defensively.
3 freshmen starting in the second quarter for Oregon State. Schimmel and Schuler, the only starters on the floor for the Beavers. taking a bump, not there. Wow, kind of a mop-up bucket is Williams, and it's 20 apiece.
Doesn't always have to be pretty, but it has to be good effort. You got to be a competitor. That's what Blanche Alverson wants of this team. Williams going up, getting the ball, not pretty, but a hard putback. Very nice done.
20 apiece. Schuler steps through and scores. 7 now for Schuler.
You just cannot assume that she is done picking up her dribble and that she's not still in some kind of play or movement to the basket.
Yeah, she keeps that pivot foot down and defenders just go flying by. So Ray not on the floor. Tammy, have you seen her on the bench?
No, I have not seen her on the bench.
Wow, the leading scorer for San Diego who makes them go, and yet look at the Toreros. 2 on the shot clock. You got to tee it up. Long ball, not there. Ajayi didn't hesitate. Another offensive rebound. Toreros, smartly played. Eight on the shot clock now. Boy, I love the hustle by Williams, the freshman out of Vegas.
Underneath the basket, good fake. Here's the shot. It's long. Williams is there. The tough putback, and then at the other end, take a look at Schuler. Here it is. Watch how she's not done with her movement. There's that pivot foot. She goes up and under. So crafty, so clever, but just so smart. So smart with the ball. So smart in reading the defense.
So Williamson back on the floor for Oregon State along with Villa. Villa scoreless at this point, leads this team with nearly 17 points a pop. It's 22-20 Oregon State, another turnover. We're tied up. Turnovers continuing to plague Oregon State because they're live ball turnovers, Tammy.
Points off turnovers for San Diego at 9 now. And too many turnovers for Oregon State. 5 of them, and costly.
Williamson wants it down low, likes the mismatch, and we're going the other way. Offensive foul is going to go against Williamson.
Here's the turnover. Amore in the passing lane. This is an easy run out. That's the 5th turnover for the Beavers. And we know Scott Ruick will not be pleased with those. They're going to have to clean those up because San Diego taking advantage of a 9 points off turnovers.
So a chance for San Diego with a little heat from Oregon State to take its first lead of the game. Remember, they were trailing by 10 midway through the first quarter. The crowd was smelling a blowout. Torero said, not tonight. Mid-range is there. How about it? Ruse scores. San Diego with the lead.
Got to knock down the bucket if you get the pass right there. Ruse makes the move into the middle. She shows her numbers, shows her hands. Nice pass, catch and shoot.
San Diego shooting 43%, Villa back rimming off. And this is an Oregon State club that prides itself on defense and keeping opponent's field goal percentage low.
How about San Diego, though? They are getting their defensive effort to be one and done.
Off the pick, little deep on that shot. Owens, look at chasing it down is Owens, the freshman, blocked by Williamson. Here comes Schuler. Smartly played to bring it out, Schuler. There's that pick. That's what Schuler does. She backs up, floats, fades, and scores.
And she had an easy shot mid-range just around the free throw line. She got a double screen by Williamson, who once again screened 2 players, and she still went past them and still got to the rim and still made a turnaround jumper.
9 points for Schuler. The answer is there from Ajayi. She's got 5, averages 1 point a game, and Ajayi off the bench has been a huge spark.
Yeah, the 5'10" freshman. This is a young team. You mentioned it.
Gosh.
So young.
I love what Alverson is doing with this team. They believe. Nobody in, except for them, thinks San Diego has a chance in this game. And here they are. Catch, shoot. Whoa, how about it? Alonso.
Little help from the backboard and the rim.
Yeah, what the heck?
I'm not sure to call that a friendly roll or a friendly, I don't really know what that was.
Alonso will take an occasional triple. A pretty good three-point shooter, but that one had a weird angle, a weird clank, and it went in. Floater is there. Wow.
I'm telling you, it's Ajayi. It's just, it's effort and it's heart.
(28-27). Schuler so hard to defend. She'll go to the line. Single coverage, she will eat you alive. Ajayi with the foul.
Alonso from the deep corner, the lefty gets a little friendly bounce. Yep. And then at the other end, San Diego's Ajayi, who had a great high school career, coming in, stepping up on the stage. It's okay.
Kennedy Schuler leading the way for Oregon State. 9 points, high percentage looks, Tammy.
She shoots consistently from the first half to the second half, about 52% each half. Right now, she's 4 of 6. This Oregon State team has 14 points in the paint. 9 of those coming from Schuler, who finds a way to get downhill. Look at this move, this turnaround step, little fade away. She's done that on a couple of occasions, but she is looking to get inside the paint. You've got to continue to move her feet. Right now, the question for San Diego, they are thinking, how do we take away these paint points that Schuler is getting? Try to slow her down. I don't think you ever stop a player as talented as Schuler, but how do we just slow her down and keep the pace of this game now that we've got this 1-point lead?
And obviously, Oregon State turnovers have been a huge factor in allowing San Diego to get back in this game and then some.
6 of them and 11 points off turnovers for San Diego.
Wow.
Great point, Ann.
So Schuler in double figures hitting that first toss. She's a 54% free throw shooter. Makes both of them 29-28. Oregon State, 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. An Oregon State 10-point lead vanishing with San Diego coming back with a vengeance. A lot of hustle plays and scoring off of Oregon State bugaboos. Fading back. Nice touch there, but not there for Owens. She's been really good off the bench for Alverson.
And if you're San Diego, you want to keep the momentum. You want to keep moving in that direction that you were here in this first quarter and the first 5-6 minutes here in this second quarter.
Here's Bolden. Play whistled dead. Amor gets her. That's her first. Team's second. You watch Bolden starting this game hot like she did against Gonzaga, hitting from deep on consecutive shots, then going quiet a little bit. Villa has yet to score. How about that? Lefty Alonso not there. One and done, and off to the races is Owens. So again, Kylie Ray, who averages 17 points a pop, starts the game for San Diego, plays a few minutes, and not even on the bench at this moment, in the locker room or somewhere. And yet San Diego hanging around and then some. Offensive foul is going to go against Bolden, her first. Team's second.
Well, she had the defense backing up. They were on the back foot. But it was just that little nudge at the end there is where she picked up that foul.
Tammy, Oregon State's only loss in conference play was to LMU, the team that San Diego beat last time out. How much can you draw from that if you're Alverson and the Toreros?
San Diego believed, and when I asked Blanche earlier today, how did you beat LMU? And she said, we boxed out at the end of the game. We did exactly what we needed to do. They were process-driven. That's the culture Blanche Alverson's really trying to build here. You literally go back and watch that film. Every defensive rebound they picked up, they got some O boards. They did what they were supposed to do, what LMU did well, but Blanche Alverson and her team really kind of put on a clinic.
Schuler again keeping that ball alive, wants to step through. We're going to play on. Good defense on the interior by Ajayi and company. Another chance for San Diego to grab the lead. They've had it a couple of times by a singleton.
If Ajayi can stay hot, even better for San Diego.
Bolden corrals the miss by Owens. Under 2 to go in the second quarter. It's a 1-point Oregon State lead. Schuler already in double figures with 11. Villa yet to score. Wow. 7 on the shot clock. Long ball. Villa back rim and off into Schimmel and into traffic, and Villa will reset. Schuler wants to get everybody on the same page. Schimmel. 7 on the shot clock for Bolden. Stepping back, tough shot, not there, rimming out, and into the hands of Owens. Good half-court defense by San Diego.
Yeah, and they had to work hard because Oregon State got a second chance with that O-board, and they passed it out, and they wanted to use another 17 ticks off the 30-second shot clock, and they did. They held their own, did San Diego.
Under a minute to go in the half. Entertaining game here at Gill. Packed house on Alumni Weekend. 7 on the shot clock, dumping it inside. Kind roll and a tough shot and finish by Roos.
You got to be tough because you're going up against Alonzo, and she's got some height at 6'3", good length. She can block shots, but Roos with the follow-through, a really good finish for her at the rim.
Schimmel off the pick. Big stick for Oregon State and Alley. That got the crowd into it. Shot clock off, game clock at 15 right here. It's a 2-point Oregon State lead on Schimmel's bomb. Alverson wants Owens to get something going. Pocket, corner, 3 not there. Good if it goes. Ooh. So it's a 32-30 Oregon State lead. 10-point lead for Oregon State in the first quarter, and Torero's come back.
Well, I think Oregon State got lucky that San Diego didn't make that 3 in the corner to end the second half here with that long ball shot. They could have gone up by 1, but they didn't. Oregon State needing to and wanting to kind of settle in. We'll see what the second half brings.
Coming up at half, WCC Insider Podcast. Good crowd at historic Gill Coliseum and a good game here in WCC Women's Hoops. Oregon State atop the conference leading a gritty game San Diego team 32-30 at the break. At one point, the Beavers led by 10 in the first quarter, but San Diego coming back and then some. And Tammy, delighted to have you with us. How did San Diego do it?
Well, they're turning Oregon State over. Oregon State has 7 turnovers, and San Diego's got 11 points. And here, the other thing is they're taking care of the ball, San Diego is. They average almost 18 TOs a game. They've got 1. So they're doing it on both sides, and that's the key. And then some of their players are stepping up. I think they're getting to really good spaces. They're finding the way to break down Oregon State's defense. They're getting into the spaces. They're hitting shots that they need to make. And it was a great first half for San Diego.
You mentioned the Oregon State turnovers, a lot of them live ball turnovers, and San Diego went racing the other way to score.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, in the passing lane, watch out because you're going to get down the other way. And then there were some hustle plays. Here's that passing lane where Lily Amor just kind of snipes it away there. And then here's a hustle play by Amor. She gives it up. Her teammate, Haley Rhodes, picks it up. And then what happens? They go back down the other way. Rhodes, she hits a shot. And then here it is from a reverse angle again, another run out. That's just an easy layup. If you're Oregon State, you really have to clean this stuff up because you're keeping San Diego in this game. They're only down by 2, and now you have them believing. But it's Kennedy Schuler for Oregon State, the 5'10 junior guard. She's got 11 points on the evening, shooting a great 4 of 7, which is a high shooting percentage. We're used to seeing that from Schuler. San Diego, I don't think yet really has an answer on how to continue to stop her. And so Schuler, I would expect to continue to make these moves in the second half.
Pound for pound, nobody better in this conference. All right, break down some numbers, partner.
Well, I think, you look at the paint, the points in the paint for both of those, it's equal, but Oregon State, they're shooting just a little bit better. Again, I can't stress the turnovers enough. Oregon State's got to clean those up, and they want to force San Diego to get some turnovers. They have to turn San Diego over.
All right, so got to update you. We're still trying to figure out the status of Kylie Ray, the superstar for San Diego, who leads this team with 17 points a pop, started, played 3 minutes, and then went to the bench and then left the bench. We're not sure what's going on with Ray. As Williamson grabs the miss, she'll go to the line.
Oh, and here's why that Ray issue is important, is because her usage rate is 37%. She is in the top 99 percentile in the nation in how much she is used in a game. All things go through Kylie Ray. If you don't have her on the floor, you're giving up not just points, you're giving up a lot of touches, a lot of assists, how things are facilitated. But for San Diego, right now in the first 20 minutes, they've done all this without Ray. They're believing right now.
And there she is. Know this about Ray. Leads this club in points, boards, assists, triples made, free throw shooting percentage. She's got 8 20-point games. She is an absolute monster all over the stat sheet in WCC play, and it looks like she'll sit the rest of the game. And yet San Diego coming back from 10 in this thing.
She's in pick and roll 1/3 of the time. She's in her transition game scoring 25% of the time. If you take away those two pieces of the game right there with her high percentage shots, where do you get that? How do you fill that? And right now, I think San Diego has the answer. They've got other players making shots.
San Diego's bench has been really, really good. And there's Owens, who now has 7 points. High school stud in 4 sports, flew a plane before she learned how to drive, can solve 3 types of Rubik's Cubes in a matter of seconds. That's Owens. And Bolden misses at the cup. Here's Owens with the board. Just a freshman. This young San Diego team tried to get fancy, lost the ball. Schuler playing the good D. Schuler hesitates. Owens on her back pocket. Kennedy will bring it out.
Amore for San Diego, denying Bolden the chance to even see the ball, get the ball.
Here's Villa looking for her first points of the game. Not there. Bolden, good hustle play. Wow. I thought that went off Bolden, so did Owens, but the ball belongs with Oregon State. Ajayi coming in.
Here's the replay right here. We'll see how close this is.
Really hard to
close
tell.
Call.
Yep. And in a game this close, Tammy, you want this officiating bunch to review it. So Sean Martin and his crew will take a look. We're going to take a quick break. It's 33-32 Oregon State, leading by that Singleton. Call remains the same.
And you know, it's funny. I was watching Blanche Alverson in San Diego when the call was made, and they determined that the call stand. And she went over there and she had a nice little, a little plea. She just made a little plea to Esther Sue, one of our great officials here today. And then they had a little laugh at the end. And Blanche just trying to get every little edge that she can. By the way, happy belated birthday to Blanche Alverson, who celebrated her birthday yesterday.
Oh,
her team, when they got here, they did balloons, they did like a cake, they did.
Cool.
She just felt so special. She said, I love this crew, I love this team, and she's going to get a chance to grow them, especially how young they are, and she's going to do a great job.
All right, so Beavers inbounding, leading by 1 early in the third quarter. Off the bench and firing away as Jeppes, one and done. Good job on the boards by Roos and San Diego.
Tough rebound to get because that's a high bounce off the rim. And you had Williamson right there in the area.
Off the pick, back rim and off. Offensive rebound, Holly with the grab. Remember, Villa has yet to score for Oregon State.
That might be an out-of-area offensive board here for Holly and San Diego, which is a second chance opportunity for them.
You got to hurry now, though. 3 on the shot clock. Amore, but no, not in time, and that's a blown opportunity for the Toreros.
Yeah, you got to have that awareness, right? Awareness of the clock. You had a second chance. You wanted to take it out and kick it out and use that second shot clock opportunity, but you didn't get the shot off.
Still the 1-point lead for Oregon State. Schuler behind the back, picks up that dribble. Williamson wants to play catch with Schuler and does. There's the dive by Schuler. Pretty good defense inside. Kennedy gets the kind roll.
It's a hard move to stop when you're fading away. And, you know, she's not exactly explosive on that move, but it's the space that she creates. You know, it's not top to bottom. It's really left to right.
She's so strong, and her ability to elevate, it's really something to behold. Schuler with the ball and the 13 points, all the way to the rim and scores. She'll go to the line.
Look at that. Really kind of an off-balance, really tough move as San Diego was trying to make a tough shot, and that's exactly what she did. Here's the shot moments ago. Turn around, little fadeaway, step back there, and then look at this tough shot. All one left hand.
Ajayi had no chance, and Schuler creates, invites, loves, and plays through contact.
You know what you love about Schuler is, yeah, we're just seeing a great offensive showing by her, and she's now got 16 points. She's also in the bottom 1% in the nation in turnovers. I mean, it's really incredible. She just really doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes in her game.
38-32, Schuler doing it again. Coming off the Annie Myers-Drysdale National Player of the Week with that stat line that was funny money last week. Williamson, late whistle. Good drive inside by Owens, and Lizzie picks up her second. First team foul, and I really like the game of Olivia Owens out of Columbus, Ohio.
What I love about her game, well, she also ranks 6th in the WCCC and first among freshmen in terms of her defense, 1.9 steals a game. But offensively, she's really finding her way, and she's expanding where she's shooting from.
Missing them both, that hurts. 38-32. Remember, Oregon State led by 10 midway through the first quarter. Schuler has been a one-woman scoring wrecking crew for this Oregon State bunch. Certainly getting some help, but Villa not scoring yet. Schuler has been carrying the freight. Williamson finds Kennedy. Again, ball on the deck. Footwork, fading back. Nice job by San Diego not to let Williamson grab that ball. Running the floor. Really good help defense by Schimmel. San Diego sticking with it, rewarded with a couple of tosses.
It's the second effort. That's where you draw the foul. It's the second effort. You're running down the floor, and Williamson was there to begin, right? Here's Williamson. So she's going to team up with Allie Schimmel, and they're going to get the stop. But it's that second one on that weak side. Second effort by San Diego. Again, Blanche Alverson saying we're going to do things the right way. We're going to hustle. We're going to compete.
So Owens misses her third straight free throw as Schimmel picks up that infraction.
Step off the line, take a minute, or not a minute, but a couple seconds. There you go, Owens.
Got 8 now, splashes that one home, and points at a premium for this San Diego club, averaging only 56 points a game.
Owens also has 7 rebounds. What a line.
Long ball, not there. Owens' career high in points is 25, 11 boards. Her scoring average has dipped a little bit, but you can tell that's an explosive player on the floor. Wants to go one-on-one against Schuler. Kennedy playing the good D. Stepping through, kind of a wild shot, not there. Following it, but into the hands of Schuler.
Oh.
Kennedy gets her home. So clever. She's got 18.
What a nifty move. The defense was there, but boy, she again kept her dribble alive.
You give her one little bit of space,
That's it.
and her angles are so good.
It was one of those plays where the defense was in front of her until they weren't.
Jaden Rhodes thought that thing was in. I did too. A chance for Oregon State to extend. Stepping through. Are you kidding me, Kennedy? Come on.
Again, you have to move your feet. If you're going straight up and she hasn't picked up her dribble, or she has and still has that action in that pivot foot, she's going to find a way.
You watch Schuler progress and improve over the years at Oregon State. An elite playmaker and at the rim as good as anybody. Foul's going to go against Jeppes. Kennedy Schuler putting on a show. Tammy.
20 points. Look at this move. A little in and out. Defense was in front until they weren't. And then look at it again. The pivot foot, the move, the rip through, up and under. Really good.
Kennedy Schuler all over the rankings in WCC play.
Well, she can do it all. The assists at 5.7 ranks second, and how about third in steals per game? We know that she can score. We know that she can defend. 1 block per game, ranks 8th. And she's a guard. Remember, she got 3 blocks against Gonzaga just the other night. A lot of those are sometimes in a zone. A lot of those are sometimes when she's got a player in front or she kind of sneaks behind and just gets a piece of that. But you take a look at these point production at 20. She is 8 of 12. You always expect her to be shooting a high, efficient, good, strong percentage, and she's got 6 rebounds.
Schuler leads this club in blocks. I want you to chew on that, Tammy. She's 5'10", 5'10", and she leads this team in rejections. Her timing, her precision, and how she just kind of waits in the weeds. I get more jacked about her steals and her blocks than anything else.
I do too, and she leads the team in steals with 45. And the next best on this team is Bolden with 28. So that's how far the separation is, 45 to 28. And Bolden's got some good numbers in terms of steals.
So the foul is going to go on Jaden Rhodes, her first, team's third. Villa on the drive is fouled.
This could be her. She could pick up her first. Yeah, they're not shooting.
Nope,
they'll take
not
that out
shooting.
of bounds. Yep, that was not a shooting foul.
So Rhodes picks up that foul, her second.
Still no points for Villa.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And yet it's a 42-35.
Not even a free throw attempt.
Yeah, I mean, she's not on the board yet. Shivers on the floor.
It's a foul.
Yeah, it's got to be a foul on Schuler.
Again, that's one of those hustle plays that San Diego, you're finding more and more of them in this season with the Toreros. And it's the passing lane. And this is a tough place to turn the ball over because that's a potential run out there. And it's if it wasn't for Schuler with the foul.
That was the only thing that went against Schuler against Gonzaga was she fouled out for the first time in her career. And this is a team that doesn't foul.
Right, there's only 2 players on Oregon State, I think, that have fouled out all season long.
She and Williamson fouled out in the same game against Gonzaga. The only 2 players. Ruick prides himself on not getting you to the free throw line and not letting you get to the rim.
Yeah, he says, we aren't going to foul you. We aren't going to give you free throws. We're going to make you make tough shots. That's how they beat Baylor in that run to the Final Four.
You bet. Back in 2016, that team 10-year reunion will be honored as part of Alumni Weekend on Saturday. So the 3 balls that were working for San Diego and the shooting percentage for San Diego in the first half, not so much here in this third quarter. Oregon State playing much better defense, what you would expect. And San Diego coming down to earth a little bit from deep. So again, Shivers on the floor, Jeppes on the floor for Oregon State. Schuler looking for a career high. Cutter, not there. Stepping through is there. Schuler misses. She'll get up and hustle. But pushing is Owens. Like the idea by Villa. Still playing hard. Kind of more of a facilitator tonight than anything else, Jenna Villa.
Here's Sydney Weiss.
Part of that Final Four team, one of the all-time greats to wear an Oregon State uniform. And now, of course, an assistant coach with Ruick.
Talked about them beating Baylor. Sid Weiss had 18 points in that game. Oregon State held Baylor to 25 points in the first half. the first half.
That's Ruick's defense. He's as good an X and O guy as there is in the country off the pick. Not there. Good look. And San Diego just can't buy a bucket. But again, the hustle rebound by Williams. Foul's going to go against So. Natalie Williams, the former great at UCLA in volleyball and basketball in the ABL, et cetera, et cetera. This is her kid toeing the line.
That's right. I mean, you just, when you watch Williams play in this game right here, I can go back and remember. I played against Natalie Williams. I played at San Diego State. Natalie Williams is at UCLA. And I remember being in awe of her. I was like on the court and I was like, who is this player that is just playing hard? But this is what Williams is doing here. She paces the defense with 16 blocks for this San Diego team, ranks 13th in the WCC.
Oh, Natalie, could you play All-American in both sports? Are you kidding me? Shivers, love the idea, but wild to the cup. And here comes San Diego. 2:35 left to go in the third. Boy, Oregon State tag teaming on that defensive effort. Foul is going to go against Villa. So free throws, more free throws for San Diego.
You know, San Diego just 2 scores down in this game. The key free throw they're made right now. They're down by 5. But here's a nugget for Oregon State. They had 7 turnovers in the first half. Only 1 here in the second half. And San Diego still with only 11 points off those turnovers. They have not been able to convert on those because they're Oregon State taking care of the ball.
Shivers mid-range, not there. Good box out by everybody wearing blue, including Ajayi. But can San Diego make a bucket? Oh, for their last 7. San Diego hasn't scored a bucket for the last 7 minutes. Unbelievable. And they're still in this thing. Not there. Another miss. High percentage. And San Diego has gone beyond chilly. They're freezing cold. The Toreros with but 7 points in this quarter. Bolden stepping through. She'll go to the line. Slaps the floor she wanted. The and one.
Little Euro move at the end of that dribble drive into the paint. Thought she was going to finish on that.
Ajayi with her 3rd foul. But, you know, you look at it, and Oregon State's only scored the 10 points. It's been a quiet 3rd stanza for both teams. Here's Bolden. First free throws of the night, you're looking at them. Bolden, an 86% free throw shooter. 1 more, and she'll be in double figures. $10 points now for Bolden. She gives you just over 13. And again, Villa is scoreless at this point. So Bolden and Schuler have been carrying the mail. $1:30 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Owens stepping back. Williams. Turnover,
yes.
Paulman.
That's the right call.
So Shivers, how about the guard transfer out of Mesa Community College getting some quality minutes? Off the pick, Bolden. Villa tries to poke check it free, but instead into the hands of Owens. 1 minute to go right here. San Diego hanging around. They'd like to draw ever closer. There's the pick. Owens elevates. Good look for San Diego. They've had a ton of them. They just can't hit anything.
Yeah, they're just not getting the friendly bounce, high bounce. Good effort there by Williams on the end of that one to try to save that from going out of bounds. She'll get a break. Roos comes in.
And San Diego likes the fact defensively they're keeping the score down. This is the way they stay in it, but they just haven't been able to sustain any offense in this 3rd quarter.
Well, what San Diego does right here with this substitution with Roos is in the second half, she tends to get a lot of buckets underneath the basket. That's what they're hoping for with her right now.
Shivers, long ball. not there. Schuler on the bench. San Diego not able at this point to take advantage. They're getting the looks, are the Toreros. They'll finish the quarter here. Shot clock off, game clock at 12. There's the high pick for Owens. Long ball, Rhodes. Bolden, if you put it up, it's good. Bolden! Woo! So that'll do it. Low scoring third frame. It's a 44-37 Oregon State lead. 44-37 Oregon State leading San Diego heading into the fourth quarter. A very frigid third quarter for both teams. Oregon State not able to get the kind of separation they'd like to after playing pretty good defense.
Yeah, Oregon State 0 for their last 5 and San Diego 0 for their last 10.
Yeah.
So a very cold cold third quarter there, and last 15 shots that we've seen just haven't gone in. Combined 19 points in the third quarter for these two.
Schuler with 20, Bolden with 10. They're the ones doing the scoring for Oregon State. A smattering of players getting involved for this San Diego bunch. Rhodes with 9, Owens with 8. Fourth quarter underway. Really good hustle rebound. Flagging it down is Roos. Fresh clock for San Diego. Both the Roden sisters doing a nice job scoring tonight.
Yeah, and the bench for San Diego. 22 of the 37 off the bench. It's by committee for this San Diego team without Ray.
2 on the shot clock. Wow, nothing over the back called there. Another offensive rebound, and Williamson will be carded for that one. That's her third.
And this is what I'm talking about with Ruse inside the paint in the second half. When you look at her second half productivity over the season, she has found a way to find shots in the paint around the bucket. That's what they need to get her. They need to get her. She's trying to isolate on Williamson right now, but she kicks it out.
Can San Diego score from the floor? They shot 8% in the third quarter. Going deep into the shot clock again. 5 on the shot clock for Owens. Wild shot into the hands of Schuler. Missed opportunities for the Toreros.
I thought Ruse was open a couple of times, had one-on-one against Williamson. Not sure if they felt like maybe she just couldn't go one-on-one versus Williamson, but she was open. She had Williamson pinned.
Villa and now Schuler looking for a career high. Late whistle, and Schuler will go to the line.
Ooh, that looked like a good block. Not sure if they got her with the body. You feel like on that move, it's almost automatic for Schuler, but I felt like San Diego got a piece of the ball. Let's see if on the finish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's Holly with
man.
the tip. I didn't see the foul there. Didn't see it from live angle. Didn't see it there on the replay.
So that ties a career high for Schuler. Kennedy Schuler.
3 more rebounds. She'll have a double-double.
You know, it's basically we've got Schuler and you don't. New career high. And I love the fact that she gets it via the tosses, struggling from the free throw line, Tammy, and both of those were true. Boy, San Diego pounding the offensive boards.
They have the offensive rebound advantage over Oregon State. It's 11-6, the advantage San Diego on the O boards.
And they got a lot of chances to rebound because they missed so much. Good hands by Bolden. Remember, it was a 10-point Oregon State lead midway through the first quarter. They're looking to push that lead into double figures again, dumping it inside Williamson. What a feed by Villa. Not scoring, but Villa facilitating. Largest lead of the game for Oregon State. You're looking at it.
Yeah, the reason why she's played so many minutes in this game is because of the way that she impacts the game.
Yep.
And it's all the things that she does, and that's one of them right there. What a perfect pass leads Williamson to the bucket. She had to get around that defensive ruse, and she did.
4 assists now for Villa. Nice ball fake, and finishing is Owens. Finally a bucket for San Diego. 10 now for Owens. Nice answer for San Diego. Schuler, there's the kick. Schimmel loves that shot. Williamson tips it to herself. Schuler cutting inside, and Owens just kind of hog-ties her. The foul's going to go against Olivia. That's number 3.
Good effort by Olivia. She wanted to get the tie-up, but she just gets the foul. Here's that pass that I was talking about by Villa earlier where she's impacting the game. I mean, Williamson just did a really nice job of moving her feet. It was the footwork and the handwork there by Williamson, and then the great pass.
Villa again facilitating, throws it away that time. Look at Schuler just from behind.
Yep.
Boy, you better be talking all the time. Schuler going the other way. Kennedy, thievery in the night. What she does. She knows one speed. That's it. And you just saw it. Bolden dumps it inside. It's a good look. Williamson didn't want it. Schuler stepping through. Wow, tons of contact there. Ball's going to go to San Diego. Only one time Villa has been held to under double figures. She had single digits against Alaska Anchorage. She has not even scored tonight, Villa, and yet still impacting the game. Unbelievable. So no Ray, who only played 3 minutes for San Diego, nursing that bad ankle. She's got her sweats on, won't return. And Villa, who leads her club in scoring, has been on the floor a ton, impacting the game, but scoreless. So both teams leading scorers, one via injury, one just not shooting a whole lot. Quiet tonight.
Oregon State hasn't scored in 2 minutes and 6 seconds, and San Diego has to find a way to take advantage of that, and they finally get a friendly shot there.
I really like the game of this Owens kid. Man, I mean, coming into this game, averaging 9 points a pop. Lowest her average has been all season, and she's bringing it tonight.
Well, she gives Blanche Alderson a big reason to keep her on the court just from the defensive perspective, right? And the way that she ranked 6th in the WCC and first among freshmen in steals. And here's the shot here. She's continuing to try to learn where her shot comes from. I mean, she's a freshman. That's what a lot of these players for San Diego are doing. They're trying to figure out this college game. It's a different pace. It's a different way. And I think the University of San Diego coaching staff, entire coaching staff, is doing a wonderful job with this young team. You can't coach effort and hustle, and that is what San Diego's given their coaching staff.
Bolden stepping back to beat the shot clock buzzer. Bolden, she's got 12.
I like that, Ann. Buzzer Bolden.
Long ball, not there.
Forced it, Olivia Owens, and that's the thing that they'll look at with these freshmen and, you know, game time decisions, when to shoot, what's the right time. I know why Owens took that shot, and she's been a great three-point shooter in the second half. Teams have tried to figure out how to shut her down, but that was a forced shot there.
Bolden with the big bucket as we head into the break. Stepping back and getting the nice roll. Well done, Tiara. Second half shooting, not exactly what you draw up, TB.
Yeah, and both teams from 3, 0 for 7. San Diego 3 of 20, and Oregon State 6 of 21. For Oregon State, it is 34 combined points with Schuler and Bolden. And then you got Schimmel with 5, Williamson with 5, Alonso with 5. But 34 of the 50 from Schuler and Bolden.
Schimmel will go to the line, and I erroneously said that
Villa.
Yeah, that Villa had a game where she had the 5 points, and the only time she was not in double figures, and I forgot about the Air Force game in game 2 when she was held scoreless. And that was the time of year, the first 2 games, when Villa wasn't really looking for her shot. Ever since, obviously, she's gone on a tear. But Villa, who may sit the rest of this game, we'll see, sitting on 0 points, but coming through with some points or with some assists and rebounds.
And she takes the second most shots on the team coming into this game with 233. Almost half her shots are threes, and she's shooting 39% from the field. She dropped 31 against Gonzaga.
5th in the conference in scoring, and her conference numbers up. Ooh, what a snag by Williamson in the stolen pick department. So it's a 10-point Oregon State lead, low-scoring game, kind of a funky game, but 2 stars really coming out for Oregon State tonight, and some players that usually don't get a lot of minutes are getting some tonight. Schuler loses her footing. Great hustle play by Bolden. Ball still up for grabs, and of course into the hands. Yep, of course. Okay, place is going to go nuts. Yep. Wow, the hustle play resulting in Schimmel's triple.
And how many times have we been in Gill Coliseum? It's been quiet. There's been a pass, and the ball goes high, lets loose, long 3-ball, and the place erupts. We have seen it for more than a decade in Gill Coliseum, and there it was by Schimmel.
And it all started with the hustle play. Bolden on the deck, Schuler on the deck, and then Kennedy finding Schimmel for the triple. This Oregon State team, last year, I think in one of Ruick's best coaching efforts ever. Oregon State's first year as an affiliate in the WCC, so many of their big primetime players had decided to transfer after the Pac-12 blew up. And what Ruick did, teaching and helping his club learn, Tammy, to play winning basketball, all culminating in the WCC tournament title and back to the NCAA tournament.
You do a lot of teaching, you do a lot of coaching of sometimes some basic principles, some concepts, and then things start to be put together little by little. And here we are, another great team that's got great chemistry, by the way, and it's just a Scott Ruick kind of product.
Yeah, it is. The chemistry, it's always something to behold. Nice drive by Jaden Rhodes. Schimmel picking up that foul, her second. But good job by Rhodes to find that opening. She'll go to the line.
She and her sister, Haley, both played at Morehead State. They're out of Keller, Texas. My family's from there.
Both seniors. What a season for Haley. Best year at San Diego, and Jaden helping off the bench.
Both of them had great numbers at Morehead State.
And Williamson comes up limping. Excuse me, TB.
Went hard down on the deck.
Injured that hip last year at North Carolina State, and Bolden will go to the line. More and more fouls coming as nope. It's on Holly, her fourth. Lots of free throws now for Oregon State, the remainder of this game. They don't foul much, do the Beavers.
12 fouls in this game. Scott Ruick told us the other night. Our pride is rebounding margin, no layups, rim protecting, defend without foul. They have 244 fouls coming into this game. Their opponents, 363 fouls.
Yeah, as Oregon State, Bolden hits a couple. Oregon State averages about 11.6 fouls a game. So when 2 fouled out against Gonzaga, it went into overtime, I get it. Schuler and Williamson, you just thought, what? Great job by Williamson to get in the passing lane. Hustle play again, going to the deck. Nobody quitting on any plays for Oregon State. That time at Schimmel. Williamson trying to establish some position down low. She'll dive again. High-low wasn't there. Next up for San Diego, they will travel up I-5 to take on Portland, while as So checks in, Williamson will take a seat. Oregon State will stay put with a very talented USF team coming into play, and USF is given Gonzaga all it can handle tonight in the Bay Area. Zags leading by 4 against USF early in the fourth quarter. That's a huge game.
Yeah, last couple times we've checked, it has been just a 2-possession game, and San Francisco isn't going away, that's for sure.
Santa Clara rolling all over Washington State. Those are the 2 clubs closest to Oregon State.
Santa Clara half game behind.
7 on the shot clock for Schuler.
Watch Schuler go to work.
Too easy. 24 now to continue to create new career highs. Kennedy Schuler.
Yeah, this was just too easy. She's just done a lot of this tonight, but just I look at the inside out move, and that move inside or to the left, and then that created a lane, and that was a straight line drive, and she just one-hands it all the way. She practices that move. She knows that move sometimes can be there. The minute she sees her defender off balance, she knows exactly the moment in time when they're off balance and when to literally kick it in gear and make that move.
At one point in this game, late in the third quarter, Oregon State only led by 5. You had the feeling, okay, if San Diego can just catch fire a little bit, you never know. You look at the score now, and Oregon State has not let off the gas. So Bethina on the floor for Oregon State. Alonso returns to the court. Field back in. What a night for Kennedy Schuler. The career high 24 points to go along with 7 boards, 3 assists, a block, and 3 steals. Kennedy doing what Kennedy does. What do you like about this Oregon State team, Tammy?
I like their chemistry. I like the way that they pass the ball. I of course, I love the game of Schuler. What's not to love? But I think that they clean some things up. I'm not surprised. We've known Scott Ruick for a very long time, and they had 7 turnovers in the first half, and they have 11. They did clean them up. They only had 1 for a really long time here in the second half. They just clean things up and they make adjustments, but they just have a lot of really good pieces.
Bolden having a seat with 14 points and the 8 rebounds. Bolden and Schuler really doing the damage for Oregon State tonight. Block inside by So, rips it away. More fouls going against San Diego. Jai got her.
Yep. So was right there. And then she blocks it. She keeps it live, doesn't swat it out of bounds, and then she collects it, gathers it, and then draws the foul. That's the punishment, is that you get the block, but then you go down on the live block and you get to shoot free throws.
Yep.
So
Nene So, what a great story she is. Her first year with Oregon State. Injury-plagued career at Utah. Last year, only played the 9 games, scored a total of 6 points, 6 total rebounds. And this year, she's contributing at 4 points a pop, 6 rebounds a pop, healthy and getting a chance to play.
Yeah, a lot of notables this season for her. 15 rebounds against ASU, one of only 7 WCC players with multiple 12-plus rebound games. That's a notable for me with her. And
Jaden Rhodes continuing to just keep battling. I like this San Diego team, and man, they do.
Yeah.
They play as hard as Ruick knew they were gonna. Final seconds of the game. How about that? Bethina with the triple. Crowd loves it.
Her 19th game of the season, no starts, but she gets the chance to get the 3 ball at the end of the game, and an opportunity that she takes advantage of.
First triples,
Yeah.
Tammy, since November 29th, if I'm not mistaken. I love it. She picks up the foul, but still only 4 team fouls against Oregon State. They pride themselves on keeping you off the line. Ball into the hands of Alonzo of Athena. And that'll do it. Oregon State with a dominant fourth quarter to pull away.
Congratulations to the Beavers. Defending their home court. It's the second half of the season. They stand in first place. They were a half a game ahead of Santa Clara, 1 game ahead of Gonzaga. Santa Clara taking care of Washington State tonight. Keeping it close, but Oregon State with an important victory. They have a chance to get another one on Saturday.
Beavers defeating San Diego 61-43. Beavers winning their 3rd straight, raising their conference leading record to 8-1. USF will be a tough one on Saturday. For Tammy, our entire ESPN Plus crew, I'm Ann saying so long from Gil. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. See you back here on Saturday. USF in the house. Oregon State rolls.